Hello, welcome to Just Vintage Crochet. If you are new to this channel, I have a stack of patterns here that were put together for me, so I don't know what they are. They do have titles and pictures, but we don't have them here in front of us. And any words, any keywords that could give away what the pattern is, so hat or scarf or blanket, have been blacked out. So we truly have no idea what we're making until we're done making it. Now, the majority of these patterns are going to be from the 1800s, but as you can see here, we have a couple that are from 1912. So let's just dig right into our fresh pile of fresh patterns. Oh, it's been too long, hasn't it? Here we go. Pattern number one. Pattern number one. Let's see where that's at. Okay, here we go. Pattern number one. So I'll explain a little bit of why I haven't been working so much over the summer as I'm working. Let's see here. It says, well, what year is this one from? It's not marked. Are any of the other, looks like we have some similar patterns. Are any of these marked? What year? Oh, 1870. Is that from the same book though? That may not be the same book. Here we go. Here's one from this book. What year does it say? Maybe it is from 1870. Oh, we have some here from, wait, 1883. Okay, this one here looks like it matches. No, it does not. All right, well, this one did look like it matched, and it does not. No. What year is this one from? This comes from there. Oh, you know, I'll find out in the end. I'll have Justin tell me whenever he gives me the picture for it or the title if it doesn't have a picture. Okay, so let's see. What do we need? Make a chain of 24 stitches, turn. I love it that we're going to turn. First row, 1 double crochet. Well, I need to know what year this is from so that I know, I can see if this is, well, let me just look at some of the wording here and determine if this is a UK or US. Okay, pass over. Not seeing any distinctly US or UK words like color. All right, I'll be right back. I need to know what year this is from because this too could also be from the 1900s. And if it is, a double crochet could mean double crochet. Or if this is from the, well, okay, I'll be right back. We know it's from 1880 now. Justin did something super smart this time because there's a lot of times I have to ask him to go back and find that book. And instead of going through all the books on my computer, the exact books that he pulled these patterns from, he put them in their very own file on my computer so he can immediately reference them. Super smart kid. So he said this one here is from 1880. Okay, so we are likely using, this is probably going to be UK terms. It's probably going to be UK terms. Let's look at it and see if we can picture it. It might be US terms because this is the point in history whenever US began using their own terms around the mid 1870s. So first row, 1 double crochet into the 16th, 1 single crochet into each single crochet. I think we got US terms here. Unless they're asking for a slip stitch because the British only use the term single crochet for a slip stitch. And they stopped calling a single crochet a slip stitch around the 1850s. So knowing that this is 1880, this is probably US terminology because the British would have simply said slip stitch. Under the loop, we're looking at treble crochet. All right, let's read this. Let's try to work this as if it says US. I think it might be US simply because it says single crochet. That has to be the dead giveaway. Again, the Brits started calling a slip stitch around the late 1850s. So, there we go. Through the power of deduction, I think we have a US pattern here from 1880. I'll be right back with some material. It didn't even tell me what material this is or that I need. Little bit of a quick shameless plug here. If you like videos like this, if you like antique and vintage crochet, if you love the mystery of it all and education of it all, please give this video a subscribe. I am trying to get up to 200,000 subscribers, so if you could please join me in getting there, that would be awesome. And if you like the video, of course, hit like, because the YouTube algorithms loves to eat all of the likes and the subscribes like Cookie Monster loves to nom 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 cookies. Okay, shameless plug done. Thank you so much. Let's get on to the mystery. What do we think of these? I got these from Hooks and Needles. They are called Sunset Hues. And I haven't used these ones yet. They're new. They are 136 yards. I don't know how big this is going to be. And I also grabbed a size 4mm hook and hooked it like that. It seems like it'll work. So 4mm, which one should I start with? Let's start with this one. Let's start with a little bit of color. Get a little color in our lives. Okay, I went ahead and chained the 24 like the pattern calls for. It's not very wide, so I wonder if I'm supposed to use a thicker yarn. Okay, and it says first row 1 double crochet into the 16th. And I suppose if the stitch count is off, then we'll know we weren't supposed to do double crochets but single crochets, and that this is supposed to be a slip stitch, and that trebles are supposed to be a US double crochet. So here we go. 1 double crochet into the 16th, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Turn. Second row, 9 treble under the loop of chain. All right, let's just get to that point. Loop of chain. That doesn't make the most sense. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, loop. Yes, it does make sense. Duh. Making a loop of chain as we speak, aren't I? Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. I suppose we shall see if this is supposed to be US or UK stitch terms. There's the loop of chain right there. Duh. Okay. 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. This is either supposed to be a single crochet or a slip stitch. It really is author's choice as to what terminology they mean. Okay. Then it says to turn, second row. So we're going to leave that alone. Second row, 9 treble under the loop of chain. Okay. So that's 1, 2. Okay, there's 9 of them done. Then it says 2 chains. Okay, and then I almost turned. Under the same loop, I'll hold this up for you. Under the same loop of chain, turn. Under the same... Oh, I skipped to the end. Oh, geez, okay. 2 chain and then 9. I just skipped all the way to the end. Ugh. Pay attention. Okay, there is my second set of 9. So 9, 2 chain, 9. Then it says turn. Turn, third row, 3 chain, 1 treble into each of the 9 treble. 3 treble under the chain 2, then chain 2, 3 treble under the same chain, so we're creating a corner there, then 1 treble into each of the 9 treble, pass over the 2 chain, 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, turn. Okay, so we start this row off with a chain 3. I imagine it's for a treble. I think we are using US terms here. So it says chain 3 and then 1 treble into each treble. I think Unless, am I supposed to work into the same? No, because we end with 9, so we're not making an increase, because I thought to myself, what if this is a shawl and that's an increase? But no, because it told us to end with 9 trebles, so it's trying to remain symmetrical. So I think this is a chain 3 for a treble, or is it a chain 3 for a double? Okay. Since I think we are working on an end stitch here, and I have already begun with trebles, so trebles is the name of the game. So I'm going to stack that 3 times for a treble, and here we go. Let's see if yarning over will make them a little fatter. About the same. I typically like to yarn under with my trebles because I feel like I get a cleaner, tighter treble stitch whenever I do that. I'll show you the difference. See, this one here is yarn under instead of yarn over. And you see that? I feel like I just get a cleaner, tighter stitch, but if you yarn over, you get a thicker, fluffier stitch. There is a difference. Hopefully you can see that there is a difference. Yeah, yarn under, yarn over. I think I'll yarn over this time only because yarning under is creating too much of a gap. So I will yarn over instead of under. Am I supposed to be doing this in double crochets? Because it would have said chain 4, huh? If it wanted us to work in US stitch terms, it would have said chain 4 right here, not chain 3. And then these would have been slip stitches. All right, let me start over again. I have to do it right. Let me start over. Okay, so starting at this point here, where it tells us to work the double crochet, which in UK terms, that is synonymous with a US single crochet. So there is a single crochet, and then it said to work 2 single crochet, which in older UK terms would have been slip stitch. So I will slip stitch over these 2 stitches. Then it had us turn and work 2 chains and work 9 trebles, which UK trebles are synonymous with US double crochets. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work all of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, 9 chain 2, 9 US doubles, UK trebles. Okay, 3rd row, it says to work, start with the chain 3. So do I start with stacked singles? I think so, just because it'll look so much nicer. And then we work our 9, right? 3 chain, 1 double into each of the 9 doubles. 3 treble, then we work the corner. Am I supposed to work? Let's see what the next row wants. If this is supposed to be 10 on this side. 4th row, 2 chain, 1 treble into the first stitch, 2 chain, 1 treble into the next stitch, 2 chain, pass over, 1 stitch, 1 treble into the next. Repeat 4 times more. I guess if the math don't math, then I'll have to go back and fix it, and that's not a problem. Okay, so 1 US double over these 9 total stitches. And then we have 3 double chain 2. Is it chain 2 or chain 3? 3 double chain 2 and 3 double in the chain 2 space. So 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3. and then 1 over each of the next 9. 1, 2. Okay, so here we are now. Worked the last 9 there. And it says into the each pass over, chain 2, 1, that could be slip stitch, into each of the next 3 stitches and then turn. I only have 2 stitches, not 3. Okay. One treble into each of the 9, pass over the chain 2. I don't have 3 stitches, I just have, do I even have 2? Oh, maybe they mean these 3 stitches here, duh. So slip stitch over, slip stitch into each of the next 3. I hope it's a slip stitch and not single crochet. Okay. I'm at a loss as to what this is, really and truly. Okay. 4th row, 2 chains, 1 treble into the first stitch, or 1 double crochet into the first stitch, 2 chains, 1 double into the next. Okay. So 2 chains, 1 double into the first stitch. I'm saying double because I think I'm supposed to be working doubles. Okay. Then 2 chains and 1 double into the next. It's not telling me to skip anything, is it? No, not yet. 2 chains, pass over 1 stitch. Okay. So 2 chain, now here's the repeat because of the asterisk. Pass over 1 stitch, 1 treble into the next. Repeat from here 4 times more. So pass over 1, work a double. Now repeat that 4 times more. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, so far the math is adding up. Okay, kind of cool looking. Are we sure this is not a shawl? This could be a shawl, but it's not really asking me to increase too much. Maybe it is. This is neat. Okay, then 3 double crochet separated by 2 chain, under the 2 chain, then 2 chain, 1 treble into the next treble, then chain 2, pass over. So repeat what we did on the other side. Okay, so we're going to work the corner. So get this out of your way. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, 3, and then into the very first, then chain 2, skip 1, all the way back down to the bottom. All right, there we go. And I do think that there was supposed to be 2 stitches worked on this end stitch where I worked the stacked single, because I wound up working into the side of the stacked single instead of into the top of it, because in order for the math to work out, there would have needed to be 2 stitches here. So that does make sense. All right, 5th row, chain 3, 2 double crochet under each 2 chain. Okay. I'm not going to go off the beaten path anymore. Chain 3, 2 double crochet under the 2 chains. Okay. Repeat all around Work 3 instead of 2 treble under the chain 2 on each side the center treble. Whoa, the wording is starting to get a little muddled. Okay, repeat all around. Work 3 instead of 2 treble under the 2 chain on each side the center treble. On each side of the center treble. Okay. 1 single crochet into each of the 3 next chain, so slip stitch, and then turn. Okay. So we're working a solid row. Do I skip? Repeat all around. It says, what do I chain 3? Because it says chain 3, 2 treble under each. I think the chain 3 is just a builder. Repeat all around. So do I skip over? Do I skip over the double crochet? Am I supposed to be chaining 3 between the double crochet? This I don't know. Because now we're decreasing by, aren't we? By skipping over this stitch, because each chain counts as one individual stitch. So we are decreasing now by skipping over the trebles. That's not a proper stitch. All right, I'm going to go ahead and work this to the point. I'll be right back. It seems fine, even though it is technically kind of decreasing. Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, I messed up on this last row. I have to redo the last row. I got ahead of myself. I know it's annoying that I do that. Okay, it says here, the repeat, then chain 2, pass over 1 stitch, 1 treble into each, no, where is it? 3 treble, each separated by chain 2 under the chain 2. Chain 2. Oh, yeah, I totally messed the last row up here at the point. My fault for not paying attention. Okay. So at this point here, 3 treble, each separated by chain 2 under the chain 2. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now row 5 makes sense. Work 3 instead of 2 treble under the chain 2 on each side of the center treble. Now it makes sense. I messed up on the last row. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and finish this row and then work my way up on row 5 to the center point. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so now on row 5, I have reached the center point. This is right here. This is the center double crochet. So I'm going to work 3 trebles on each side. So 1, 2, or 3 doubles, forgive me. 3. Okay. Separated by chain 2. Do I need to chain anything? 1. It's not telling me to. 2, 3. It's not telling me to chain anything. Slightly curling, but so you can see, work 3 instead of 2 under the 2 chain on each side of the center double crochet. 1 single crochet into each of the 3 next chain, which is these 3 chain on the end. So it's not telling me to chain anything. So here we go. 1, 2, okay. and then one, you know, air quotes slip stitch, because I'm still hoping that this is correct. We're down to no more chains, but the stitch count has worked out. Okay, it's a little bit curly now. Okay, what on earth is this? Is this a shawl? Is this a shawl? It's kind of leaning over that way a little bit. Like I need to push this up more or something. I don't know. Okay, but it is kind of like trying to go this way a little bit. I want it to be more centered. All right, 6th row. Okay, it does say to turn at the end of the 5th. 4 chains. Okay. So the 6th row, we work 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it says pass over 1 stitch, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Repeat all around. Pass over 1 stitch. So that one. So try that again. Oh, come on. Why can I not do this? What is actually my damage right now? Okay. Repeat all around. Do I repeat with a 4 chain? And I do wonder if I was supposed to work 3 chain between the doubles up here. Do I 2, 3, 4? And then slip, slip. Maybe now it makes me question if I'm supposed to have chain 3s from row 5. I'm going to keep going. Wonder how would this look with actual single crochets? Not much different. I'll stick with the slip stitches. I hope this has a picture. I feel like I am wrong on the stitch terminology because I don't know where the book came from. Because this is that time in crochet history where the stitch terms were changing. So if this is a US pattern, I'm doing all the wrong stitches. And if there's a UK pattern, I'm doing all the correct stitches. Well, I suppose we will see. It doesn't say to do anything on the corner, on the point here. The stitch count is still working out fine because my last 2 stitches they were available for me to slip stitch into. So that's very pretty. Okay, for heading, 1st row, 1 double crochet into the end of the 1st row of scallops. Then 2 chain, 1 double crochet into end of next row. Repeat from here to the end of the row. 2nd row, 1 double into double of last row, 2 chain, repeat to the end of the row. Okay, for the heading, what does that mean? What does that mean? Am I supposed to break off here? It doesn't say. 1 treble into the end of the first row of scallops. I don't know what this means. I know what scallops are. I'm less convinced this is a shawl now. I don't know. Okay, I was just sitting here looking at this over and over again. The end of the rows are here. So does it want us to work? What does it say about this? No, it just says to repeat. Okay, I think we're working the bottom now. What is a heading? That is my question. And it must have something to do with this bottom area. So 1 double crochet, then 2 chains. Then the end of the next row is right here. Two chains. The end of the next row is right here. Oops. And then again, here. And you know what? I'll just put it right here. And my guess is keep going across because, yeah, a little bit making some sense. Not making sense as to what this is actually going to be used for. Unless I was supposed to use small thread and this is an edging. I bet it's an edging. Of course, you can use this size thread to make this, if this isn't edging, for a blanket, you know. Chain 2. And then the end of these rows. Kind of making some sense, because this is what you would make to sew onto the edge of something. You would need this. Kind of making sense, but you don't want just this for an edging. Like this isn't enough. And this is the end of the instructions. I suppose there's a picture with this that makes sense. Okay, so here. Just gonna go right there. No. Not much of a clear defined end over here. There we go. Now these two are a little close. I think here. And then here. Next row, 1 double into a double of last row chain 2, repeat to the end. Okay, I think this is an edging. And I was probably supposed to use tiny thread. But again, you can use yarn this size to make an edging for a blanket. I happen to be working on a blanket, and I'll show you. And the stitch in this blanket will be featured on this channel because the stitch comes from the 1880s. I just wanted to make sure that I had the stitch down pat before I made the video. So you'll get a little sneak peek. But of course, an edging like this, I mean, you want to keep going with edgings, right? I don't even know if it is an edging. I'm just guessing because what else could it be? 1880. It's not a coaster. It's not a shawl. It's an edging. I've seen edgings that look like this before. Has to be. So on this side here, I'm going to skip 2 chains. 1, 2, and into that third one over is where I will put my last stitch. It's like we're prematurely making this part. I'm sure that there is a picture where it will all make sense, but let's pretend it's an edging. Here is the blanket that I am working on. This stitch right here is a stitch from the 1880s, and it's Tunisian crochet, and it is so freaking stinking simple. You'll be blown away. But let's pretend that this blanket is all done. You want to use a thread this thick, you can, and look at the beautiful edging that creates. So pretty. So, okay, now I need to know what this is. Is it an edging? Am I supposed to keep going and it's a shawl? Is it bunting? What is you? I'll be right back. Is an edging, pineapple edge. Here's what I think you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to make a whole bunch of these, probably as many that you would need. You know, you just hold them up to whatever you're edging, the bottom of maybe a cuff or a towel or something, and you say to yourself, okay, so you make one and you measure that one, and then you figure out how many you need and you make them all, and then you just lay them next to each other, not lay them next to each other, but then you add this part. Yeah, so I think you're supposed to cut at the end of every scallop. So this is the scallop. That makes sense because they said scallop. This whole thing is a scallop. And once you're all done, you just start working your open crochet. Then when you get to the end of the row over here, you grab your next one, chain 2, and work it onto the edge and just keep going, adding this. That makes sense. Okay. Almost forgot to explain. I just ended this video without even explaining why I've been gone. So why so few videos so far this summer? Well, as some of you know who have watched my other channel, there's a link in the description down below for my other channel. It's called Everyday Corinna. I have a son that started to experience sudden health issues last summer. He began having seizures, and from there it was just a domino effect of more and more and more issues compounding. And this summer he began to decline in health, not super decline, but he began having more and more and more problems. And we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doctors, 6 different doctors. He's taking dozens of medications now. So that has occupied a lot of my time, a lot of my emotion, any stress that I had to spare toward making videos and editing, because it's a little stressful, and replying to comments and all this and that. That's all been diverted over to him. All of my attention, my energy, all of my everything has been diverted over to him. So for the rest of August, videos are probably still going to be just a few here and there, as we might be narrowing down one of his major issues, which might require surgery. I can't really get into it right now, but if you follow me on my Everyday Corinna channel, that's where I do updates for things like this. This channel isn't really for that, but I felt like saying something here because I have not been uploading on this channel very frequently this summer. I will be working throughout August. I will be working on several videos here and there to upload for September and October. So expect to see more from me in the early fall and in fall. But for the remainder of the summer, I'm going to continue to devote my time to this situation going on here at home. It's just a few more mystery patterns for the rest of the summer. I just really need to focus on him right now. Pineapple Edge from 1880. Very, very, very pretty. Wasn't that difficult to make either. I liked it. I enjoyed making this one. Very pretty. Isn't that pretty? Okay, very soon you guys will get the tutorial for this. I'll show you if you want to be ready for it. I am using a cabled Tunisian hook, a 5mm hook on a 30, I'm gonna need my magnifying glass. Is that 34? 32 on a 32-inch cable, and I am using this Premier puzzle. It is a number 5 bulky weight. Okay, so there's going to be a tutorial for this coming up very, very soon. I love these colors. Also, if you want to be prepared to make this, because I'm going to make this for fall, right? Like you're going to see this video this month, but it's going to be a fall blanket for me, or a fall throw. The colors I'm using is called Kickball from this company here. I bought mine at Walmart for about $9. And the other color I'm using, so I'm doing every other skein a different color. This one here is called Crossword, and I'll hold that for you so you can see. And same puzzle, Premier puzzle. I bought 5 of these sort of orangey reddish ones, the Kickball, and I bought 4 of the puzzle, crossword. 4 of the crossword, 5 of the orangey burnt red one. Very cool, right? So if you want to learn how to make this blanket, which is backwards, hang on. Okay, here's the front. In Tunisian crochet, very, very simple. Stay tuned because that tutorial will be coming up soon. Very cool, right? Doesn't that just look like a sandy beach and a sunset? I love it. Oh, I love the colors. I love earth tones. I love 70s colors. Love them. All right, guys, that's it for today's mystery. Very cool, very easy. The instructions weren't so bad. I just wish that I knew what country it was from, but now I'm more confident than ever that this is a UK pattern. I'll see you guys in the next mystery. Bye.